One of the things that I've really enjoyed talking about a lot on this channel, even though it's not as flashy as dunking on Captain Marvel or talking about some random, e-girl goof, is the outing of some of the worst actors in teaching. I talk about it nearly every day now. We get teacher after teacher after teacher admitting on tape that they are trying to essentially program their students. And when I say that, I'm not talking about arithmetic or reading or any of these other skills. I'm talking about political ideologies. I'm talking about, in this particular case, the super soldiers of Antifa. I don't really know any other way to discuss it. These particular videos, they aren't as exciting, but they are important for me because I'm getting older and, some of this stuff is very concerning. You could see Project Veritas breaking California high school AP government teacher admits communist indoctrination of students. I have an Antifa flag in my classroom wall. I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries. There's a reason why these Gen Z kids are becoming further left. This is a 10-minute video going on and on about this, essentially this teacher that admits it on tape. Here via the Post Millennial, shocking undercover video reveals Antifa high school teacher admitting to indoctrinating students. I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries. How do I do that? I scare the F out of them. I mean, he's got Mao in his classroom. He's got an Antifa. I mean, this dude does not belong in the education system. In an undercover interview with a Project Veritas reporter, Gipe revealed that his intention is to radicalize students with Marxist ideas, giving extra credit for students going to protests and, quote, community events. I have 180 days to turn them, which is students, into revolutionaries, scare the F out of them, said Gipe in undercover footage filmed by Project Veritas. I post a calendar every week. I've had students show up for protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, all sorts of things. When they go and they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's extra credit. Now, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with wanting to get your students involved in, community service, because that's a good thing. In fact, if I remember right, when I was like a senior, it was something that had to happen. We had to do so many hours of community service or project work or things like that. Now, this was not something that was led by some radical teacher. This was like, I think I volunteered at a retirement home a couple hours a week. And then I think my sister picked up trash along the Riverwalk. Either way, Gipe revealed that he indexes students' political standings throughout the year and watches as the class inches further left. So they take an ideology quiz, and I put the results on the classroom wall every year. They get further and further left. I'm like, these ideologies are considered extreme, right? Extreme times breed extreme ideologies, right? There's a reason why Generation Z, these kids, are becoming further and further left, said Gipe. By the way, anybody that ends their sentences with a question mark, be wary of them. Right? It's a form of, it's a way to kind of steamroll conversation and get you to agree with them. Gipe said that a student had anonymously stated at the end of the year questionnaire that the flag in Gipe's classroom made him feel uncomfortable. I have an Antifa flag in my classroom wall, and a student complained about that. He said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, the flag is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable. So if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this flag is antithetical to, Gipe said. He went on to say that that a physical overthrowing of the U.S. government is a necessary solution in today's society. This dude's so fired. This dude is so fired. And I don't care whatsoever about it. You want to teach us stuff in college? Fine. But when kids are in your class to learn about history or government, It is not your job to push them towards a specific political ideology. Your job is to present options and let them choose their path. Why aren't people taking up arms? Like, why can't we, take up arms against the state? We have historical examples of that happening and them getting crushed and being martyrs for a cause. It's like, okay, well, it's slow going, but it takes a massive amount of organization, he said. Geip also added that a two-pronged system needs to overhaul the government, like the Chinese Cultural Revolution. You need to have a two-pronged system, which is exactly what Huey Newton and Fred Hampton of the Black Panthers understood. You need propaganda of the deed, your economics, and cultural propaganda as well. You need to retain the way people think, retrain. So Cultural Revolution in the 60s was fixing the problem that came about after the economic one, Geip said. What we can do now is root out this culture that keeps perpetuating hyper-individualism, hyper-competitiveness, capitalist exploitation, and consolidation of wealth. I do think it's important to understand that as an extension of an economic revolution, they, the CCP, were changing the base, and then they went to change the superstructure. Why doesn't he just go to China? I just... Geip said that he is not only a teacher with these beliefs, noting that 3 other teachers hold similar beliefs. There are 3 other teachers in my department that I did my credential program with, and they're rad. They're great people. They're definitely on the same page. I don't think that having these particular political views is inherently something that you need to remove from the school district, like if they're personal beliefs. But if you are literally LARPing as some kind of soy-filled revolutionary, and you admit that your job is to, radicalize your high school students, then I would probably suggest you get out and you be fired immediately. Now, will the local media cover this? Probably not. You can see in this video.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you
scare the fuck out of them? Yeah. Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? So that when there is like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where would he go to connect to some of these organizations?
I post a calendar every week.
Awesome.
And then
So he posts a calendar every week for his students to go join, essentially, Antifa.
And I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. So that encourages them to do it. And I've had students show up for protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, all sorts of things. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit. I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that, and he said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable. So if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Maybe.
You must be a fascist. Yeah, a high school student definitely is a fascist.
You shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to. So the Cultural Revolution in the 60s was fixing the problem, and we'll create an opposition to that. And also Sacramento Peace Action, which is a very old organization that posts a calendar on their website every month of all the events that are going on, and I just put them on my whiteboard. Let them know where they are. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit.
If you look at these photos from Geip's classroom, you can see he has an Antifa flag as well as a poster of Mao Zedong, the Chinese dictator who is one of the most notoriously brutal leaders in history, responsible for the death of millions.
Yeah.
I probably as far left as you can go. So I've gone down those deep, dark rabbit holes where the idea of adventurism and just being why aren't people just taking up arms? Why don't we just taking up arms against the state? And we have historical examples of that happening and them getting crushed and being martyrs for a cause.
That's definitely what he wants his students to do, by the way. He wants his students to go and be martyrs for his cause because he's too much of a coward to actually do it. This guy should be fired. The other 2 teachers that agree with him should probably also be fired. Students, keep filming your teachers. Good job, Project Veritas. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.